Deadly storms in South Africa cut off entire towns after catastrophic flooding. A boat carrying families capsized on India's Yamuna River, killing children. A passenger jet struck and killed a man on the runway in Denver. A Czech climber died descending Makalu in the Himalayas. The Pentagon released newly declassified UFO files to the public. Now, the latest global events.
South Africa is dealing with the aftermath of one of the strongest storms to hit the country in decades. Between May 7th and May 10th, torrential rain, hurricane-force winds, and snowfall slammed the Garden Route and parts of the Karoo region in western Cape Province. According to local authorities, severe flooding and landslides destroyed roads, bridges, and homes across the region. In the town of Knysna, a woman was killed after a tree collapsed onto her vehicle during the storm. More than 45 roads remain closed, leaving several communities cut off from the outside world. Emergency crews continue clearing debris and assessing structural damage. Residents shared videos showing flooded streets, collapsed roadways, and vehicles trapped in rising water. A major rescue operation is underway in India's Uttar Pradesh state after a deadly boat accident on the Yamuna River near the city of Hamirpur on May 7th. According to preliminary reports, the overloaded boat was carrying local residents returning from a river island when it suddenly lost balance and overturned. Dozens of passengers, including children, fell into the water. Authorities confirmed that at least one woman and 4 children were killed. One child remains missing as rescue teams continue searching the river. The exact number of passengers on board is still being verified. Emergency crews from the NDRF and SDRF were deployed to the scene. Witnesses say many passengers were unable to swim and that the boat reportedly lacked sufficient safety equipment and life jackets. A deadly incident occurred at Denver International Airport in the United States after a man breached airport security and entered an active runway area. According to CBS News, the unidentified individual climbed over a perimeter fence and ended up directly in the path of an Airbus A321 preparing for departure. The aircraft struck the man while taxiing on the runway. He died at the scene. Authorities are still working to identify him and determine how he managed to access the restricted zone. Following the impact, panic reportedly broke out inside the aircraft during the emergency stop and evacuation process. Officials say 12 passengers suffered minor injuries, while 5 people were transported to hospitals for additional medical evaluation. Part of the airport's operations was temporarily suspended during the investigation. Federal Aviation Administration officials and local police are now reviewing surveillance footage and airport security procedures. A Czech mountaineer has died during an expedition on Mount Makalu in Nepal, the world's 5th highest mountain. According to the Himalayan Times, climber David Rubinek developed high-altitude pulmonary edema while descending from Camp 3 near Makalu 2, which stands at 7,678 meters. His condition reportedly deteriorated at an altitude of around 7,200 meters during the descent. Members of his climbing team attempted to assist him, but rescue efforts were unsuccessful. Rubinek was part of a 7-member expedition climbing without guides or Sherpas. Weather conditions in the Everest and Makalu region have remained difficult in recent days, with strong winds and extremely low oxygen levels at high altitude complicating climbing operations. Officials are now preparing an evacuation of the climber's body from the mountain. Authorities say the exact circumstances surrounding the tragedy remain under investigation. A fatal road accident in Mexico left a motorcyclist dead after he collided with a long object being transported by a cyclist. According to preliminary reports, the cyclist was carrying a long wooden pole or metal rod extending into the roadway. The motorcyclist reportedly failed to notice it in time and crashed into it at high speed. The impact struck the rider directly in the head, causing critical injuries. Witnesses say the motorcyclist immediately lost control and crashed onto the pavement. Emergency crews responded to the scene and transported the victim to a nearby hospital, but doctors were unable to save him. Authorities are continuing to investigate the incident and determine whether traffic safety regulations regarding oversized cargo were violated. A disturbing murder case in the United States has drawn national attention after a 24-year-old man admitted to torturing and killing his 18-year-old ex-girlfriend. Investigators say the suspect, identified as Thomas, initially told police that Isabella had died from a heart attack during consensual sex. However, an autopsy later revealed multiple fractures, severe injuries, and signs of prolonged abuse. According to investigators, the victim had allegedly suffered weeks of torture, beatings, and sexual violence before her death. Authorities say the suspect eventually confessed during questioning. Police report that Thomas became enraged after the young woman attempted to leave the relationship. He later admitted to attacking her with a baseball bat and repeatedly breaking her bones during a violent outburst. Police in India's Maharashtra state are investigating a shocking child murder case after a father allegedly killed his 9-year-old daughter over school grades. According to investigators, the girl became upset after finishing second in her class, while her stepbrother ranked first. Authorities say she later attempted to alter her stepbrother's report card. When the father discovered the changes, he reportedly became enraged and attacked the child with a chainsaw. The injuries proved fatal. Investigators say the man then attempted to cover up the crime by wrapping the body in cloth and setting it on fire in an effort to stage an accident. Police later discovered the partially burned body and launched a forensic investigation. A 27-year-old man in India survived a brutal machete attack and reportedly walked into a hospital with the blade still lodged in his skull. The incident took place in Maharashtra state, where the victim, identified as Pawar, was allegedly ambushed by a group of teenage robbers. According to police, one of the attackers struck him in the temple with a machete during the attempted robbery. Doctors later confirmed that the blade had penetrated approximately 4 centimeters into his head. Despite the severe injury, the man remained conscious and managed to reach a hospital on his own. Emergency surgery was performed immediately, and surgeons successfully removed the weapon. Hospital officials say the patient survived the operation and remains under medical observation. Police are currently searching for the suspects, who fled the scene after the attack. Authorities say robbery appears to have been the primary motive. The U.S. Department of Defense has begun releasing previously classified files related to unidentified flying objects, following earlier promises by Donald Trump to increase transparency around UFO investigations. The Pentagon published 17 pages of documents, along with photos and video footage, totaling 162 newly released files. Some of the reported incidents remain officially labeled as unexplained after military review and analysis. Defense officials emphasize that the released materials contain no evidence of alien technology or extraterrestrial contact. However, authorities stated that several cases could not be conclusively identified. According to Pentagon representatives, the government now plans to pursue greater public transparency regarding UFO-related investigations. Officials also acknowledged that previous administrations had been criticized for withholding information and dismissing public interest surrounding the topic. Severe weather swept across several Russian regions on May 9th and May 10th, bringing heavy snowfall, strong winds, and widespread infrastructure damage. The hardest hit areas include the Khanty-Mansi, Autonomous Okrug, Perm Krai, Sverdlovsk region, and Tyumen region. Emergency services reported fallen trees, damaged power lines, and dangerous road conditions across multiple districts. Utility crews were placed on high alert as thousands of residents experienced temporary power outages. Meteorologists say the sudden weather shift was caused by a powerful Arctic cold front moving into the region after unusually warm temperatures earlier in May. Authorities continue clearing roads and restoring electricity as unstable weather conditions remain in parts of the Urals and western Siberia. A magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck off the coast of Chile late on May 9th, according to seismic monitoring agencies. The quake occurred at 10:34 p.m. local time. Its epicenter was located approximately 34 kilometers southwest of the city of Lebu and around 127 kilometers southwest of Concepcion. Officials reported that the earthquake originated at a depth of about 23 kilometers. Residents in coastal areas said the shaking was strong enough to rattle buildings and trigger alarms. So far, authorities have not reported major structural damage or fatalities. Chilean officials also confirmed that no tsunami warning was issued following the earthquake. Emergency services continue monitoring the affected region as aftershocks remain possible. Chile is considered one of the world's most seismically active countries due to its location along major tectonic plate boundaries. A dangerous storm system moved across Oklahoma and Texas on May 9th, bringing powerful thunderstorms, intense lightning, large hail, and the threat of tornadoes. The U.S. National Weather Service issued multiple severe weather warnings as the storm line intensified across both states. Videos captured by storm chasers showed massive lightning strikes, rotating storm clouds, and hail large enough to damage vehicles and rooftops. Authorities also warned of a growing flash flood risk, especially in low-lying parts of Texas and Oklahoma, where heavy rain quickly overwhelmed drainage systems. Several roads were temporarily flooded, and scattered power outages were reported across affected communities. Emergency officials urged residents to avoid unnecessary travel and remain alert for tornado warnings throughout the night. Meteorologists say unstable atmospheric conditions could keep the severe weather threat active over the coming days. The central United States is currently entering peak tornado season, when warm, moist air collides with colder northern systems, often producing destructive storms. Authorities in Southern California are warning beachgoers after a surge in great white shark sightings along the coastline in recent days. According to local officials and lifeguard services, sharks have been repeatedly spotted near popular beaches in San Diego, Los Angeles, and Orange County. Multiple videos recorded by drones and beach visitors show large sharks swimming close to surfers and swimmers in shallow water. Marine experts say the increase in sightings is likely connected to seasonal migration patterns and warmer ocean temperatures along the Pacific coast. In response, some beaches increased patrol activity and issued public safety advisories. No shark attacks have been reported so far. However, officials continue urging people to avoid swimming alone and to leave the water immediately if marine predators are spotted nearby. A dog named Moses is being praised as a hero in the United States after protecting his owner during a sudden bobcat attack in Alabama. According to local reports, a woman was taking Moses on a morning walk when a bobcat suddenly emerged from a wooded area and charged toward her. The dog immediately placed himself between the animal and his owner. Witnesses say Moses fought the bobcat while the woman escaped and called for help. The owner suffered only a minor scratch during the incident. Officials later confirmed that the bobcat died during the confrontation, while Moses survived without serious injuries. Photos and videos shared online quickly turned the dog into a viral sensation across social media platforms. American media outlets described the animal as a hero dog, and thousands of users praised Moses for his loyalty and bravery. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. See you in the next update.